Good morning, this is Faith at Faith and Books. I'm going to do a really quick Shakespeare Sunday because my chickens need feeding. You might be able to hear them. And oh my gosh, the 4-year-old got up at 6:30 and I keep sending him downstairs to play downstairs while I was trying to get ready for this, and he keeps popping back up again. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going into the D's. And the first one is Dancing Days. And this is from Romeo and Juliet. And it comes from this quote, Capulet. Let's see, a hall, give room. And foot it, girls. More light, you knaves. And turn the tables up. The chickens in the background. And quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet. For you and I are past our dancing days. How long is now since last yourself and I were in a mask? So, that's pretty obvious to me that they're past their dancing days, meaning it's not seemly for them to get up and dance at this masquerade ball because they're too old and they should let the young people come in and dance. So I think I do use that phrase, dancing days. My dancing days are over. I hope they're not over yet. All right, the next one is A Dish Fit for the Gods. This one I found really interesting. It's from Julius Caesar, and we think of it as, if you cook something really fancy and you hand it to, come out and present it at the table, and you say, a dish fit for the gods, like it's a good thing, right? But it's actually not used in that sense in the play. So it's from Julius Caesar, and this is Brutus. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius, and gentle friends. Let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide him. So what he's saying is, let's not get bloodthirsty and ruthless and go crazy and create a bloodbath. Instead, let's be like sacrificers. And I think the guy, in describing, kind of misses the point. I think I got the point more than he did, because when you sacrifice meat, or like if you're being kosher or halal or something, it's very precise. You have to do things very ritualistically. And so it's not about murdering. It's not about going crazy and a bloodbath or anything like that. It's very controlled and ritualistic, and you do it for a purpose, right? You sacrifice the animal for a purpose, and so that's what Brutus is saying, that we need to make this a dish for the gods, like you would sacrifice meat for the gods and do it in this ritualistic, careful way, and not go crazy. And what does he say? Not hew him as a carcass fit for the hounds, or for hounds. So it's a very different meaning than what we use the phrase now for, a dish fit for the gods. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's see, the next one is The Dogs of War. And this is also from Julius Caesar. And I thought that he says the dogs of war, which to me is just a poetic thing. I don't think it needs that much explanation. Like, you think of vicious, a vicious pack of hounds defending, send out the hounds, and that's a very appropriate way of describing war. Men hurling themselves at each other, trying to, stab and slice each other up. So to me, that's not, it's a poetic turn of phrase that's catchy, but I didn't think that was that interesting to have to explain. But anyway, let me read it to you. I'm sorry about the chickens in the background. I really need to feed them. Okay, The Dogs of War, Marcus Antonius. And Caesar's spirit raging for revenge, with 8 by his side come hot from hell, shall in these confines with the monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. So, the dogs of war is a good turn of phrase, I thought the phrase cry havoc was more interesting. And he talks about it here. Cry havoc, which also surfaces in the play King John, is derived from the Old French crier havo, to send out the signal to begin pillaging. Later day usage of cry havoc follows Shakespeare in the figurative sense of call down destruction. Now I say the phrase wreak havoc. So like if the 2-year-old comes out and, pulls all the books off the shelf, he's wreaking havoc. Or if the tornado came through and wreaked havoc. I never say cry havoc. But anyway, I thought that was more interesting than the Dogs of War, which I think is just Shakespeare had a way to turn the phrase. All right, the next one is also interesting to me. Double, double, toil and trouble, which is from Macbeth. And he points out that a lot of people misquote it and they say bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. And I really think that's what I've done. Bubble has replaced double, because I think of the witches standing around a cauldron, stirring up this potion. And so that's why bubble, bubble, toil and trouble makes more sense to me. But really it was double, double, toil and trouble, because it was part of the spell to double Macbeth's, evil curse, so make the curse even stronger on him. So I thought that was interesting. And then let's see, I'll just do one more because my chickens are really hungry, and any second now the 4-year-old is going to pop up for the 3rd time. So he hath eaten me out of house and home, and this comes from Henry IV, Part 2. Hostess, quickly. He hath eaten me out of house and home. He hath put all my substance into that fat belly of his. But I will have some of it out again, or I will ride thee a nights like the mare. And then Falstaff. I think I am as like to ride the mare if I have any vantage of ground to get up. So he's sort of, Falstaff is being naughty when he responds like that. But apparently the hostess of the inn is sick of Falstaff eating and drinking all her food, and never paying up. And so she uses that phrase, he hath eaten me out of house and home. And the author here, Michael Macrone, says that they actually do have forms of that phrase earlier. From the 15th century, they've seen he hath eaten me out of house, or sometimes eaten me out of house and harbor, or eaten me out of doors. But they really need to eat. But Shakespeare says house and home, and so we have adopted that phrase, and we use it in the same way. He's eaten me out of house and home. Like if you have a teenager who's eating up, you can't keep groceries in the fridge. You say something like he's eating me out of house and home. So anyway, so I'm going to end there. With the chorus of chickens in the background. And hopefully, this is intelligible. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Take care.